Yeah. Two. Yeah. Aye. I'm jacking the beat, you calling the cops. The yapping is cheap, I call you the ops. The rapping is hating, it's all cause of pop. You get a leak for the ball, get a drop. Feel like I'm wrong when I double it back, cause I'm making it harder to catch that. But I covered the ticket, I call you to visit. You tipping and hit up the cash app. Baby girl, been around for it, yeah. In the old days, I was stuck in old ways. Never really trying to flip the old page. Young man tripping at an old age. Thinking I was flicking, had a low wage. Led the bro days, then a slow praise. Thinking it'd be different, it would gon' change. Then it really didn't, it's a cold game, yeah. Ay, all I really wanted was the money in the pocket. God over money, but the money ain't the topic. Like Bill Doe and the money gotta stop it. Kid need food and the whip need juice. I'ma get these views when the
What's good, baby? It's your boy Dale. I'm back in the saddle again. Our motto is to buy, build. We already bought it already, so we already own it, free and clear. Refinance to long-term debt, cash flow. That is the motto. Cliff, man, is that a pretty strong motto, man? What do you think?
Man, the model is strong. Like, you're getting each piece of the invest, right?
What it do, y'all? It's your partners Dale and Cliff back in the saddle again, guys, on another Real Estate Friday training live, and it's free, guys. So I know how we always begin. Take the picture for your mom and them because we look better than you. Cliff, man, how you doing, big time? You doing all right, brother?
Yeah, man, doing good. Another good week.
Another good week. It's all good, man. Ain't no thing with it at all, man. Number one, I gotta ask the question: did we get the bag, big dog?
Oh yeah, we always get in the bag, man. It's been a good week.
It's been a really good week, guys. We got three additional properties under contract, right? We actually pulled out of an apartment complex investment we were going to do because the numbers didn't make sense. So we pulled out. At the exact same time, we got an apartment complex also. This is new news for you, breaking news on the show. We have another apartment complex in a major area, college area in Mississippi, brother, that is in the 7 to 8 figures.
Oh, you
That
talking about
just
the one in
came to
Michigan
no, it's
or a
in
different one?
Mississippi. It's in Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yes, sir, doc. And it's a former NFL player reached out to us, said, "Can you partner with us?" Uh-oh.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay.
yes, sir, doc. So we out here making some moves, and yes, we did get the bad. But guys, thank you for your time. If you could like and subscribe, depending on what platform that you're on, and share. This is going to be probably one of the most important real estate training lives we're going to do because we're going to deal on a subject called taxes, right? And so, and really and it's really depending upon what's actually coming down the pipeline potentially. But we always begin with the current market analysis. Cliff, from a licensed appraiser standpoint, brother, what's going on with the market, man? What are you seeing? Talk to the people.
Yeah, it's not much change from last week. It's still going sideways. Um, not seeing a lot. What I surprised is I am starting to see a little bit more buyers start entering the
Okay.
market. I just know that just from my appraisals that I'm seeing uh, more coming through.
Yeah.
Lenders I haven't worked with in months are starting to come
Mm.
through a little bit. So we might, as the interest rates start dropping, we're going to see a pickup. But as of right now, not too much of a change. We're still in the same type of market we was last week.
I can agree with that. I'm seeing kind of the same thing, guys, on my end. I think this is due to the fact that I think Cliff said it best. People are kind of anticipating a Fed rate cut, not a big one, but probably a small one, probably in the first quarter of next year. So people are kind of gearing up on the retail side of coming back on the market. But as me and Cliff talked about last week, it's not really going to cause really a big dent or movement in the market because of the fact that no one's going to graduate from a 2 or 3% interest rate to a 5, 6, 7, 8% interest rate. Would you agree, Cliff, or disagree?
Yeah, yeah. No one. You're not going to see. I mean, if you anybody who has an interest rate below 3, you're probably not going to see them sell. Y-
Yeah.
it's going to be difficult to see them sell. But I do think you're going to see rate cuts starting in March,
Yes.
and I think you may see rate cuts for 18 months.
18 months. Now, how do you come into the
Mhm.
tenure of 18 months? Because that's after it's during the election year and then after as well.
What I think is uh, the reason why is it's going to be slow. I don't think they're going to do
Ah,
major cuts. I think they're going to do a
okay.
quarter basis point, pause, quarter base. You see what I'm saying? So I think
Yes.
they're going to stretch it out rather than trying. I don't think they're going to be as aggressive as they were in raising interest rates. They
Yeah.
are not going to be that aggressive on cutting.
Yeah. I don't think they can be that aggressive on cutting because then that would really kind of send a shock through the market, and I'm talking about a negative shock because
Mhm.
the Fed is in the game of controlling the masses mentality. Because the masses mentality, a lot of their dollars, and not all their dollars, are in the stock market. So as the stock market goes, so does the economy. And so think about it: if the Fed all of a sudden cuts the rates, let's say 2 points, and boom, I think that'll have a negative shock to the economy because of the fact that number one, the mass is not ready for that. Number two, I don't think that's going to even cause for the market to even shift at all because I just don't see people leaving a 2 or 3% interest rate to go up to we're like at a 7 now, 6.25, maybe to a 5.25. I don't see that actually happening at all.
Nah, I mean it's to me it's either that or they're probably going to do a quarter,
Yeah,
50. And then they'll probably if they and to me that'd be dramatic. They did the 50 and they'll probably do a quarter and stop.
I agree.
So that's going to bring interest rates down. I showed the video to Dale, but they got some economists saying that by the end of next year, it would not be crazy to see mortgage rates sub 6%.
Yep, I think about 5.75 to 5.25 to 5.75, and that's fine. That's great. I still don't think that's going to bring people off the sidelines because the cost of living is so high right now, and people had to manufacture pay raises by borrowing more on the credit card debt. So there's more money going out than money coming in. So I think what they're trying to stymie or trying to assist the market in doing by cutting the rates is going to have a non factor to it at all because the cost of living is still is too high for people right now.
Yeah. And I would say this. This time next year, I'm calling it a year ahead of time. So we can come
Yeah.
back to this podcast and see what we're saying.
Mhm.
But a year from today,
Yeah.
it's going to be a amazing time to go buy a house. Interest rates will be low, but prices would not have had a dramatic push up yet.
I think prices are going to go down.
Mm,
I don't think it's going to go up because of the fact that because it's really predicated upon the retail side, right? And even with the cutting going down to 5.25 to 5.75% potentially next year, again, people are not going to come off the sidelines to go out and be active. They're not going to sell their house at a 2% and to go to a 5.25, 5.75. I don't see that happening.
no, I agree with you. But what's going to happen is you're going to see in the lower priced properties, there's going
Okay,
to be a frenzy
it
in
is.
those
It is.
because all the buyers that come into the market, because there's pent up demand. There is
Mhm,
pent up demand.
mhm.
They're going to go buy something this next year. They just need a reason. You give them
Yes.
something that they can afford, something decent, they're
Yes.
going to hop in. But the
Yes.
prices won't fall because there's not enough inventory.
I agree. I agree. I
So
agree.
who may make a killing is the new construction because they can buy
Ooh.
down the rate. So if you have a five, let's just say 6 months from now, you're at a 6.5, they can
Yes.
buy you down to a 4.5.
Yes. I agree with that.
And
Now,
nobody can compete.
I agree with you, but here's going to be the struggle for new home builders. They built the property for a certain purchase price. If the price gets too low, because right now they're cutting the price points down 20, 30, 40% right now. if they can't go too low because then they make no money. Now I will be. You are beginning to see. And I think this will become more the norm. Builders now, if they can't sell you the property, leasing it to you.
Yeah. I saw
I
this
can see
past year.
that. I can see that. I can see. I think Lennar is leasing out about 25% of their portfolio right now. 25%.
Wow.
25%. Yes, that is their modern, which makes total sense in this type of market. It makes total sense. It really does.
They don't have a choice.
No choice at all. Because right now they have vacant properties right now. I know right now, Grand Homes, and this is the price point, 400,000 and above, struggling.
Yeah.
Struggling. So you're right. 400,000 and below, there's going to be a feeding frenzy. And in Dallas, you look at, and most of those areas in major areas is 340,000 and below is not going to be in those major cities. Now the suburbs around it, yes, you're going to see a lot of that. Yeah, you'll see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we got some changes coming up this year. This is going to be a interesting next year, especially
It
with the
is.
election going on. We got a lot of changes coming down the pipeline.
We do, guys. Now, guys, we gave you a current market analysis. Now, me and Cliff are always looking for ways to, of course, increase ROI, return on investment, and decrease our tax liability while at the exact same time ensuring protection, right? Well, guys, there is a case right now in front of the Supreme Court right now. You see what it says? A potential wealth tax coming? Question mark. Right now, the federal government is arguing in front of the Supreme Court right now. It's Moore versus the United States on a potential wealth tax, taxing you on the unrealized gains. What is this? Now, not a problem. I'm going to bring on someone that can kind of unpack it very well. This is Bill O'Reilly. Again, this is not anything political, right? He's going to break it down succinctly of what they're trying to do. And then me and Cliff are going to unpack it. And don't you worry, we got a Countermove for you. Here you go. Let's see what Bill got to say.
The progressive left wants a socialist nation.
Okay.
They want strong federal government in Washington to tell all of us what we can and cannot have. The way you get that is by passing a so-called wealth tax,
Okay.
where the government comes in to your life and evaluates everything that you have, takes a piece, even after you've paid your income tax and every other tax they slap on you. And not only do they take a piece of what you have,
Yeah.
they take a piece of what you've gained on paper. So if you bought...
So Cliff, what he's effectively saying, he's saying that they're pitching right now double taxation. Tax on the income and on paper gains. Double taxation. That's what he's pitching. Let's get going.
At Apple at a low price and now you hold it, you have a profit on paper from Apple stock. But you haven't gotten the money because you're holding the stock. You think it'll go higher.
Mm-hmm.
Government wants to come in and take a percentage of the paper profit. Okay, wealth tax. If Apple then crashes and comes down, not worth as much as when the government took whatever they're going to take, you don't get a refund. You don't get anything back.
Wow. So Cliff, if he's saying, and I'm gonna use a real estate as an example, you have a property right now that's worth $100,000, right? It appreciates to 140. The federal government right now is arguing from the Supreme Court to tax you a percentage on the $40,000 appreciation that you haven't received yet. Not only that, they'll also want to tax you on income tax still. Double taxation. Let's say for instance, that property at 140 goes down to $90,000. There's no refund. USOL.
Yeah.
Let's keep. Go ahead.
Nah, it's impossible. We, hey, we want to talk about what we want. Shoot, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things I want, but we
So
gotta talk
enough.
about what you can do. It's pretty simple. Um, you can't tax paper assets because it's not realized gains.
Mm-hmm.
So what realized means just I ain't sold it, right? If you got a nice car, you a 1967 Mustang, that's nice. The government can't come in and go, that's a nice car. It's probably worth maybe 100 grand on the market. Yeah, we're gonna charge you 15%. That's 15 racks you need to pay up.
Mm-hmm.
If you a regular individual who just likes fixing cars, how are you supposed to pay 15,000? You don't have you just like this car you got. You can't. You can't tax something if you ain't sold it yet. Now, if you sold that car and you
Sure.
made 100 grand, now you got the cash. Now you might have to pay 15%.
Yes. Now, he's going to keep going. He's going to let you know how they are actively arguing this case for the front of the Supreme Court. This is
Mm.
actively right now in front of the Supreme Court. Okay, here we go.
If a wealth tax is passed, no one's going to invest in anything. That would just crash the economy, which is what the progressives want. They want the private marketplace, capitalism, to blow up so they can replace it with socialism. This is what it is. Now, I don't know, I can't make it any clearer than that. So there is a Supreme Court case on this. Charles and Kathleen Moore, retired couple from Redmond, Washington, were taxed on a gain they had, an investment they had that they didn't cash in.
So he's saying right now, Cliff, he's saying right now, this couple has already been taxed on the unrealized gains in Washington. That's why they're in front of the Supreme Court. Yes.
Wow. They said they already did it. They broke the law. I see what you're saying.
Yes, they broke the law. So in the state of Washington, this couple right now has already been taxed on unrealized gains. Let's keep going. He's almost done. It's almost done.
So they filed a federal lawsuit saying you can't do that.
Exactly.
The Constitution says this, quote, Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes on incomes from whatever source derived without apportionment to the several states and without regard to any census or enumeration. The last part of that means that there's no wiggle room, that Congress and the federal government can tax your income, money you receive, real money, income, not that you might receive, that you have on paper. No. Now, this is in front of the Supreme Court. It will be decided next June.
Wow.
My prediction, and we'll get this on tape, is 6-3 in favor of the Moors.
Yeah.
That the government cannot tax unrealized gains. Supreme Court's going to stop it. But the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, a federal court in California in the West, said it's okay. That's why it's at the Supreme Court level.
Yes.
So the Moors lost in the Ninth Circuit because that court out in the West, based in San Francisco, is the most liberal federal court in the history of this country.
So let's stop right there. Come back to me, Cliff. So, Cliff, they're arguing over the word income. Income. So let's go back real quickly to him reading the 14th Amendment. I'm sorry, the 16th Amendment. Sorry about that. It says right here, the Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes on incomes. They are arguing over the word incomes, how it has been implemented over the years, and what this actually means is income that you have received, literal cash you have received. Example, buy a property, you renovate it, you flip it, make a profit of $20,000 or more, what it may be. They can tax you on that capital gain because you received the $20,000 in the capital gain. That's how it is derived right now. What the Ninth Circuit actually argued, what they actually ruled on, that's why I said the Supreme Court now, is they are saying this word incomes, right, means not only the capital gains and income tax, right, but also paper gains or unrealized gains. That's why it's at the Supreme Court.
But so let me. I don't even. This don't even make sense. So based on that idea, let me. We're just gonna work through this real quick. I want to make sure I understand what they're saying.
Holla at me.
So, I'm pulling this up. Let's say I'm pulling up the stock market for the past year. You know, I like stocks
for sure.
So we went from 356 to 435. Right? Right, 356. Hold on.
Hey, Susu.
356. 435, right? Okay, that's almost 20%.
Yes, sir.
So the stock market flew up this year, 20%.
For sure.
So based on what they saying, the government should come in and tax the whole stock market because that's all gains.
Yes.
And take 15 to 20% of the stock market.
Yes. It don't stop there. Real estate, paintings, dogs, cars, retirement. Yes. 401ks, IRAs. It don't stop, baby. Yes, sir.
Man, I'm starting to realize there is no ownership. There's only renting from the government.
I told y'all, they're coming after your wealth. The Ninth Circuit said it was cool for the Moore family to get taxed on unrealized gains. So the Moore family had to go to the Supreme Court and get them taken. Now, if the Supreme Court would have said, we're taking the case, that would have stood. That would have stood. That's how close that was to coming into a physical edict or law.
They're gonna have to. I'll have to see what the ruling is and what they said, because I'm just talking about, even if they say you could, from a feasible standpoint, what they're saying is what I just told y'all. The stock market went up 10% or 20%.
That's correct.
That means 3% of all the gains, which is 15% of total.
Sure.
They would take that. The government would come into every person who owns a stock.
That's correct.
And say, we're taxing you on your gains. Now,
that's correct.
The stock market went down last year.
Yes.
Do I get a rebate?
No.
So when I make money, you make money. But when I lose money, I lose money.
There you go. You got it. You got it, baby.
Man. It's ridiculous. This whole system is jacked.
They are arguing over the word incomes. Incomes. They're literally arguing over the word right now. Incomes. Literally. Right now. In front of the Supreme Court. This is a case. Now, this is how close this could have became a law. Is the Ninth Circuit said it was okay for the government in Washington at the time to tax the Moors on unrealized gains. If the Supreme Court would have said we're not taking the case, that would have created case law. And guess what happened after that?
Man, you'd have a lot of problems.
A bunch of problems.
I mean, just unrealized. So okay, that would mean also. Just give you another example. If you call a football team, man, you know, you own the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones,
my boy Jerry.
It's worth $5 billion.
Talk to me.
If it went to $6 billion, he would have to pay $150 million in taxes on that increase.
Now we don't know the percentage.
I'm throwing out 15%. I'm just throwing. I'm using that as
15%. Okay, 15%.
So in that case, he would have to write a check for $150 million, but he ain't. He would have to sell the Cowboys to pay the $150 because he may not have that cash.
Yes, sir. And the church said, "Amen."
But and then we're gonna go to another situation. So I got I paid 150 million, so I had to sell the Cowboys to pay the 150. But then I got to pay taxes on selling the entire Cowboys.
Yep.
So I got to pay now 1 point something billion.
Yep.
This don't make.
And in addition to you having to pay your regular income tax, this is for real estate, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, paintings, sporting cards, franchises, you know, talking about dogs, cars, you name it.
How are you supposed to track that for taxes of what the if you go in a you gotta like you said a card. Yeah, I got a Michael Jordan rookie card. How am I supposed to pay taxes on that doubling in value?
Yeah. Hey Mo, how you doing? How you doing? My bad, Mo. Yes. I'm trying to told y'all. It does not stop there. That's how close this was to becoming case law. One decision away. If the Supreme Court would not have taken this case, that would have created case law. And the state of Washington would have went on a rampage. And then you would have other states where they did the exact same thing.
There's no way. I'd have to go see, man. That's a good example of what's going on right now. Because we all trying to get wealth, right? We trying to have it for us. We trying to have it for our families and everything. So man, that's crazy.
It's all good. Now, I know everybody's shocked. It's gonna be all right. Breathe a little bit. We'll side out. Your partners, we got you. We got you. Y'all don't you worry about that thing. But hey, man, we're gonna call this section the real estate investing countermove to the wealth tax that may be coming. Because that's a possibility that the Supreme Court may say, cool. I don't think that'll happen, but still, we want to plan on not waiting on them. You agree or you disagree, Cliff?
No, I agree.
All right, guys. Okay, I'm gonna try to walk through this as efficiently as I can. Whenever, and Cliff, let me know if I'm getting too confusing, okay? And then everybody in the chat, let me know as well. All right. Whenever money is created, it's created via debt. Am I right?
Debt or printing of the Fed.
It's printing, but that printing is a borrowing action. Am I right?
Yeah. Yep.
So it's debt, right? Because we got to pay interest on the debt.
That's true.
Quick question for the folk in the back row: can debt be taxed?
No.
So if debt can't be taxed, and let's just say, for instance, hypothetically, a wealth tax actually comes, right? How can you countermove this thing? Cliff, you said it best in the past, Real Estate Live. Become an expert in the debt game. In the debt game, let me give you an example real fast, y'all. Right. Go ahead, Cliff.
Oh, go ahead. Man, I think I already figured it out, man. The Google did this exact same thing with their taxes. You set up a corporation in Ireland that has no taxes and have them put debt on your assets. And so now in the United States, all my assets have debt.
That's one way.
The owner is in Ireland where there are no taxes.
That's one way. That's one way. Can we go a little deeper? Can we go a little deeper? Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Let's go a little deeper. I'm gonna keep it real simple for you guys. All right, it's real simple. All right, this is real. We're gonna use real estate. Cliff. All right.
Yeah.
Let's use one of the deals that we're doing right now. We bought a property, guys, for $20,000. Right? $20,000. With $20,000, right? We got friends for $20,000. We're putting $35,000 into it, right? Plus $35,000, right? Right, here we go. Cliff, that is what, $55,000, right? Right? Gotcha. Now, remember $55,000. The ARV for this property was what? $90,000. Now, remember, guys, the $55,000 is debt. It's debt. You can't tax debt, right? You tax debt. So we acquired it for 20, put 35,000 to it. We all in at 55,000. The after repair value is 90,000. 90,000 times Cliff. we can get 80%. Am I right? 75-80%.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna say 75% for this, right? That's $67,500, right? Remember, we're all in at 55,000, right? So we've increased the value. Now the government says, "Yo, LaDale and Cliff, hey, you ended at $55,000, right? Hey, no problem. It increased to 90,000. We want that difference." We say, "Hold on, Mr. Government. Wait a minute. We're gonna pay off that old debt with new debt. The new debt is $67,500 minus the 55,000, right? Here we go. Boom, boom. We have netted it by we're paying off old debt with new debt, $12,500. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
Can that 12.5 be taxed, Cliff?
No,
Because why?
it's equity, or it's
It's
debt.
It's debt. There we go.
Yeah,
Boom. Gotcha. But we have another problem though, Cliff. We got another problem. Remember, it's worth $90,000, right? We ended at 67. I think it was 67.5. All right, we ended at 67.5.
Right. Yeah.
Boom. We $22,500 in, right? The government says, "Yo, I want to tax you 50% on that one." So 15%, $22,500 times what? 15%. We're using Cliff's example, right? They want $3,375. Cliff, you know what I'm about to do. Remember the $12,500 Cliff, right? Remember, tax is $33.75, right? Tax, we got to pay taxes on that. That's we got to cut the check out for $33.75. Now watch this. Remember, we netted $12,500, right? We're trying to negate the $33.75 in taxes. Cliff, what should we do with this $12.5?
Create debt from it.
How are we gonna do that, Cliff?
You have to loan it.
How are we gonna do that, Cliff?
You're gonna have to loan it to yourself.
Oh, Cliff, my man. So give me Cliff. We used to become our own bank, Cliff.
Yeah.
Ain't that something, Cliff? Okay, so what's a way we can become our own bank, Cliff?
Oh, you talking about creating a insurance.
Oh, my man. Yes, sir. Doc. So Cliff, what can we do? Out of the 12.5, y'all, let's just say, for instance, y'all, we put half of that into the life insurance. So 12.5 divided by 2, right? Boom, here we go. That's $6,250. Now I know the CPAs in the back row going to say, LaDale, you can't write off acquiring life insurance. I agree. You can. But Cliff, once we dump this money into life insurance, can't we borrow out of that thing?
Yeah.
So watch this, y'all. We can borrow up to 80%. Up to 80% of this. So we put $6,250 in life insurance, right? How do we create the debt? We become our own bank. So $6,250 times 80%, Cliff. I'm using 80 because we can go higher than that, but that's $5,000. Cliff, how much did we owe in taxes?
About $3,300.
So my $33.75, right? That's what it was. Yo, we have created new debt of $5,000, borrowed from ourselves, right? Of debt of $5,000. We have now written off all of those taxes. Holla at your pot. How do you do that, guys? It's very simple. You play the bank game. Don't you? I told you guys, we have a Countermove for everything they do because you can't tax debt.
And just to make sure, this is not financial advice.
Not at all.
We just telling you how we see the market. Do what you do. Talk to your own accountant, your own financial advisor, and make sure you're doing your own homework. But these are just different ways that you can kind of look at and ask questions about when you put together your wealth plan.
Exactly. We are not financial advisors, not at all. My wife has a license, but I don't. Right. Okay, I don't. So this is just an example of what we do. Consult a financial advisor for your wisdom. But it's very simple, guys. How do you begin to counter move an entity that actually tries to steal your wealth by taxes? Create debt. That's it. Guess who does this exact same thing, Cliff? Apple, Microsoft, Walmart, McDonald's, Burger King. Check it. McAfee. Check keep going. Check keep going. Play the debt game. That's it. Because debt cannot be taxed. Cliff, did I do a good job of presenting the thing, brother? Let me know, big dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he just broke it down about just how debt is viewed in the tax system, right? All the big companies do it, all the wealthy people do it, because right now what they're doing is since their assets are not taxed because it's unrealized gains, they ain't sold nothing. They're just getting debt against those assets to get cash out. What Dale is saying is basically that same thing, except putting it into a life insurance policy and doing the same type of thing. I mean, I can't even see how the government would even implement it. This is how I think they would implement it if they did, is they would say any assets valued above 50 million. Then they try to go after the rich doing that. And then they drop it to 40 million, then 30 million, then 100,000. You know what I'm saying?
Guys, whenever you hear the words tax the rich, that is a scam. Why do I say that? Because people like Cliff and I, and those that are wealthy as well, guys. Cliff, do we do our own tax, or do we actually have an accounting team that does it for us?
Yeah, I got the team.
That's the reason why. That's the reason why we're not the target. You are, because you don't have a team. That's why Warren Buffett, Robert Kiyosaki, Bill Gates, Sean Puffy Combs, 50 Cent, go down Michael Jordan. They're not worried at all about taxes. Why? Because they have a team. And the government doesn't want to waste resources going after the wealthy because that's going to tie up in court for 4, 5, 10, 12, 20 years. That makes no sense.
Yeah. Anytime it's because it sounds like the rich can solve all the problems, but there's not enough money for all that. What's really happening is, I mean, just think of it. If you hit the lottery, right? You got 50 million. And the government came after you and said, we want a bunch of your money. What would you do? You gonna go say, let me get the best tax lawyers in town. I'll write a check for $500,000 and not pay the 5 million the government wants.
Yes.
So you're gonna go get the best tax attorney in town. And so that's what the rich do. They can afford the best tax attorneys in town because the best in town used to be IRS agents. They know the game.
That's it, guys. And leverage is the key. And the Wife Podcast. Thank you so much for being there, baby grip. There's more of us. You're spot on. Here's what I'm gonna challenge the common folk. Common folk, begin to think outside of yourself. Begin to think generationally. Too many times, most people think of Saturday night and not 3 generations after them. The wealthy plan for 3 generations after them, not Saturday night. Broke people plan for Saturday night. That's the problem. That's the difference between the average thinker and the exceptional thinker. They think generationally. They think generationally. We do. Me and Cliff, we'll be on the phone talking about a deal for about 20, 30 minutes. We'll go back and forth, but we'll go to 3, 4, 5 deals. Because we're scaling the business model. Because we're scaling the model. We're thinking about Cliff's daughter. Cliff, the daughter may have some kids. My daughters, my nephews, my nieces. We're thinking about them, not just us. If that makes some sense. Am I right, Cliff?
I mean, that's the way you kind of have to think, because you look at even what happens with the super wealthy, the kids of Disney, Sam Walton, right? Their kids are taken care of because Walmart is still going, right? So you've got to build something that's going to be sustainable through the times, through the ages, and something that is easy to run. You can put a CEO in charge that can take care of your family for generations to come.
Guys, generations to come, guys. It's just the reason why me and Cliff actually do a lot of real estate lives and we do free webinars, things of that nature, and we do offer the Cash Flow Club, guys, is we're trying to duplicate us. If we can make you guys just like us and analyzing deals, creating debt, you know, constructing deals, guys, we can say, all right, remember investing is a team sport. I can say, Cliff has became very good at doing XYZ. And he said, I need the cash, no problem. I said, no problem. I'll bring the debt, no problem. You have a personal banker with myself or Cliff, right, to fund all your deals. Simple. Team. It's about team. This is the reason why a lot of the people on this live stream, some of you guys may have gotten nervous about this potential wealth tax coming. That means you have no plan and no team. And I said it respectfully. Respectfully. This is the reason why we gave you a prescription of a Countermove saying leverage is the key. Create debt. Become a master of creating debt. A master. And debt can be created in a variety of ways. Seller financing, owner financing, seller financing, subject to investing, private equity as well. There's several different ways. That's called, guys, creative financing deals. That's all it's called. Creativity is the new currency. Okay? We're in unpredictable times. Would that be right, Cliff?
Yeah. Yep.
With unpredictable times, you have to become better at analyzing deals so that you can prepare for the unpredictable things coming down the pipeline. Does that make sense? I'm all Cliff.
No, it makes sense, man. It's like Dale said, we in interesting times right now. But really, it really is just figuring out a system that you can follow to do it over and over again. Because the great thing about real estate is if you can do one, you can do 100. It's the same formula over and over and over again. What you just need is to be able to get that system down. And, and the system that we're using, getting the acquisition part down, getting the renovation part down, once it rolls, it explodes because you can do the same thing in another city and another city, and it just keeps rolling.
Cliff is talking about a principle called stewardship, being a good steward of what you have been given, right? A good steward is a team sport at times. Team sport, guys. That's what a good steward is. So I said that's why I love private equity investing and real estate development and finance, because I can actually, through private equity, assist seasoned investors, average investors, new investors, right, on how they can actually fund, get deals. Because real estate is about speed. I get a property, how quick can I analyze it? How quick can I understand what the condition of the property, get the scope of work, right? Get the appraisal order, get inspection done and close. Speed. That only happens with a team. When it comes to our system, guys, Cliff, who is in charge in our system of taking care of scope of works?
Right now we got me and James.
Exactly. You and James doing it as well. When it comes to funding the deals, who's in charge of that?
That's you.
When it comes to inspecting the deals, who's in charge of that?
That's me and you.
When it comes to closing the deals, to ensure that the title company does their job, who's in charge of that?
Oh, that's me and you.
Everyone has their role. It's a team. You don't need a big Fortune 1000 team. It's people that actually know what they're doing. That's it. When it comes to work, guys, I take a look at it. But I said, Cliff, man, here's a property. Hey, take a look at the scope of work, man. Let me know what you think about it. He gets it over to James. James gets the on-site GC there. It goes scope work back to us. James makes sure it looks good. Cliff, you agree? Great. LaDale, you agree? Great. Boom. And it's funded. That's simple.
And we in the very beginning stages of that. And once we get the first initial steps, we're going to build a process around that as well. So that's simple. Here's the next one. Boom. We know go step 2, step 3, step 4. Done. Same thing with the next one once we get going because we understand the system that we got in place.
I'm gonna say this here. One guy that I know that's really good at when it comes to stocks. I'm not a stock guy. Cliff is. I'm not. Like for instance, a friend of mine, Mitch, is really good at analyzing stocks. It is asinine of me to go into that arena and think I know more than Mitch does when it comes to stocks. I don't. Now I know about preferred stock, not common stock. I mean, I know common stock. I'm of a preferred stock guy. I like to be a part of IPOs. That's me. That's me. I don't like buying stock that's already on the market. That's just me. That's just me. Nothing wrong with that at all. That's just me. Cliff, he's a cryptocurrency guy. He's also a stock guy, which is fine. That's great. I'm a guy that likes IPOs. So I was probably a private equity investor and a venture capitalist as well. Does that make sense, Cliff?
Yeah, I mean, you got to find where you fit in, right? Your niche, right? So you got, like I said, just look around, see what fits you. Every investor is different. Your investment's going to be different than mine, right? I have a niche that I like, that I've carved out, and I know forwards and backwards. You may be different. Everybody's going to have their different thing they do. You just got to figure out what yours is and master it.
That is it. I keep trying to get Mitch to do a some type of training on stock market because he knows more than the average person does from a banking standpoint, financial standpoint, and also just from an active investor standpoint as well. But hey, I understand he's kind of limited what he can do when it comes to what he can talk about because of his banking credentials, which is fine. But at the exact same time, guys, understanding your role, right, and walking in that role. That's it. If you're trying to be the master of all things, we're going to destroy you because we have a team. Team. That's it. Specifically right now with this potentially happen. Guys, I don't mean to scare you guys, but this potential wealth tax, guys, although I believe that the Supreme Court will most likely strike it down, that's a possibility that they won't. Now what you going to do? What's your plan? We got a plan. What's your plan? What's the plan? Am I all clear? Am I right, brother?
Nah, man, you just got, like he said, you got to have a plan for what you're doing so you stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mitch just corrected me on Instagram. He said I can only speak informally. Bank regulations. He's confined by the banking regulations because of he's a banker by trade, so he can. There's only something he can talk about. But it's all good, guys. But man, I hope this was helpful, guys. Hope this was wonderful, guys. If you could comment below, if you have any questions at all, let us know. You can DM us, comment on all the platforms, ask us questions. Me and Cliff answer a lot of questions via DM. A lot of questions via DM, guys. We're here just to assist and help, guys. We are going to do another master class next year, January, of course, which should be fine, guys. And also, we're really going to begin going hard in the paint when it comes to the Cash Flow Club. Again, the goal is to make you guys experts in private in acquiring real estate, so we can blend private equity in with real estate, right? So you just get funded a lot faster. You can increase your cash flow, right, and your net worth, so that you become expert at leveraging and creating good debt. Good debt. So if you want to say anything, man, but before we get off, man.
Man, same thing, different day. It only takes one deal to change your life. That's it. Simple, man. One deal. We're going to keep repeating that because it's so simple. Just get your first deal done, and you'll be amazed what's going to happen after that.
Just one deal, guys. Get off the sidelines. Become active. You have access to wise counsel. Ask questions. There's no dumb question. Ask questions, guys. And if we don't know, we'll widen the circle and answer that question for you guys. It's very simple. I ended with this. I had a friend of mine that actually called me, and he wanted me to. He asked me if we could partner up on a deal, but he has exceptional credit. I thought his deal was phenomenal. I said, brother, you don't need me. So he said, what you mean? I said, how I will lend on this will be too high, right? You don't need me. What I can do is introduce you to some institutional lenders that I know that will actually help you out here. If you still need me doing with them, then I partner with you. But you don't need me. I can consult with you, advise you, no problem with it all. I didn't want to take any money off the table for him because he had a good deal. He had been a good steward as well, also, and he actually had cash as well. And so, good guy. But I will say no. We'll say no, guys, if you don't need us. We'll still be there from a counseling standpoint. But if you don't need a balance sheet or our cash at all, period, guys, we're gonna point you in the right direction. No problem. And that may mean us making no money. That's cool. Ain't no problem with it all. This is about assisting and doing what's right for everybody. If that makes sense. You want to say anything, Cliff, before we get off? We don't.
No, man. Same thing like I've been saying. Just try to look for that one deal. Hit us up, DM us, do what you need to do in order to try to keep elevating your situation. And we're going to try to come back with new information next week.
Guys, yes, sir, man. Thank you guys for your time. You know how we ended every single time, guys, before you leave. And while you can, and Merry Christmas, guys. All right?
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely.
Merry Christmas, man. Y'all enjoy your holidays, man. Make good, wise decisions. Okay, wise decisions. And just enjoy family, guys. Thank you, guys. God bless you. See you next week, guys. Holla at y'all, guys. Peace.
Bless God, give thanks. Whoa. Bless God, give thanks. Bless God, give thanks. Whoa. Big God, big grace. Whoa.